Okay, Control Friends community, this is Ken Smyers. I'm at the 2018 Tritium Summit, and I'll tell you what, this Niagara Summit has brought people from all over the world, some of the best minds in the industry, and I'm sitting with two of them, but certainly one of the most recognized names in the industry is Brian Frank, who's been responsible for great works that have just made such an impact on our community in the Niagara world, also the Sedona world, and also the Project Haystack world. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And then I have Alper Üzmezler from BASSG, who has taken some of the incredible software and components Mr. Frank is responsible for and put them together in his own business. Tell us, I'm going to start with Mr. Frank. Brian Frank, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you think so far of the summit.
Well, I was one of the founders of Tritium, right? So very involved in the early days. And since then, I've gone on to create SkyFoundry, which is in the analytics and data management space. So.
Wow. And also one of the fathers and pioneers of Sedona.
Before I left Tritium, I was involved in creating Sedona, open source control engine, used in a lot of the smaller unitary controllers and stuff. And then also part of through SkyFoundry, when we were getting into the analytics space, we kind of spun off a lot of the work we were doing for Project Haystack, which was to help semantically model all of the data from these systems.
Remarkable work, and I'm very, very happy to see Project Haystack continue to succeed as is. It was endorsed here at the day one of the show on stage, so that was very big. That's exciting for you too. Tell us what you think about the show so far, and some of the vendors and some of the integrators and master systems integrators.
Well, so I love seeing that Tritium has really kind of embraced the tagging and the semantic model and the haystack, and I thought that was a great shout out yesterday, especially now that Project Haystack is collaborating with the BACnet guys too. So, and we're hoping to have a new spec sometime this year where everything works together. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, the show's been great. I'd love to see that the Niagara technology continues to evolve. And
well done. Alrighty, well, we're going to transition to Alper. Alper, you got to tell us some exciting things. First, let's start. What do you think of the show, and then tell us about the relationship you have with Brian.
Show has been great so far, and we basically demonstrated what we have been working on as well as what we already have as a product. So it has been great. We are, how I am connected is that we are Tritium OEM and SkySpark distributor and OEM at the same time. And we have been involved with Sedona distributing different products. And with SkySpark, we were involved with Project Haystack writing desktop IDE, which will be open source, called Project Builder Plus. Right. And we were one of the first, one of the couple first of the SkySpark distribution. Right. And we've been involved with Haystack from the beginning, and so we need of merging Haystack and Sedona together, and we open source that as under Sandstar.
Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
So Project Sandstar has a working group under Project Haystack. It is to basically enable us to do tag-based control and get the industry move forward by allowing hardware-independent Sedona code, DDC code, between different manufacturers. That's the main goal of the Project Sandstar.
Awesome. Well, I know it's going to be successful. Back to you, Brian. I don't want to say something ridiculous here, but I can compare you to Bill Gates or you really truly, because I tell you what, I came into this business in 1993 and we didn't have an integration tool, and it was like a lightning bolt from the sky that said all of a sudden we had this Tritium Niagara product that we could start integrating and take this thing and normalize data and break the proprietary barriers. So it's been an exciting ride. As young as you look, I mean, you've got 20 years in this already, but you look like you just got into it a couple years ago. So many amazing accomplishments already. Again, SkyFoundry, Sedona, Niagara. Which one do you consider to be your greatest achievement?
I definitely have to say SkySpark. Okay. Every technology that I'm involved with builds on everything, kind of we learned previously. So
Awesome.
always making something better, I think. Going forward, not backwards.
All right, so then the million-dollar question is, what do you have for the future? What do you have in store for us in the future? What's your next great frontier that you're going to break down the barriers to and get us all involved with?
But really, I'm hoping with SkySpark and Project Haystack and everything to move the industry forward to be more data-driven, right? Versus this historical reactive, right? My temperature's not working, my building's uncomfortable, so something must be broken, right?
Right. So the future of data looks great, but tell us a little bit about your global community. I mean, some people might not realize how big of an impact you all have made in North America. So we all know who SkyFoundry is and Brian Frank, but tell us, you've got some international growth going on.
Yeah, so we started trying to grow the business outside of the U.S. Probably about 5 years ago. So Australia's been a big market for us. There's a lot of innovation happening there in data management and data-driven facilities. And then Europe is an emerging market too. We've got a few great distributors in Europe too.
All right, Brian, I'm going to ask the question for you and then hand it off to Alper. But for the end users out there and the community at large, what is the most important things they need to know about the involvement, the benefits, and getting taking advantage of this technology?
I think the biggest misunderstanding with analytics is that people don't understand that they can and probably should start small. You can't put in a piece of a building automation system. You got to put in the whole thing. And I think that mindset has dominated how analytics should work, whereas really you can get started with a few pieces of information and start gaining value before you do the big science project.
All right, great stuff. Alper, what's your thoughts on that?
So I completely agree with Brian. You can really start small, and each job is different. And having distributors and other consultants, it will make it very easy for you to get on board on analytics.
Great. Well, as Eric Stromquist always says, geniuses leave clues. So what Eric wants to know is, what do you guys eat for breakfast?
Usually no breakfast, but lots of coffee with lots of sugar.
Okay. Alper, what's your thoughts?
I have coffee, Turkish coffee, and a toast.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you, it's been an exciting moment for me. We've seen a lot of great players in the Niagara Summit 2018, but two of my favorite people I got a chance to interview with for Control Trends, and thank you very much, Brian.
Thanks.
All righty, and thank you, Alper.
Thank you.
All righty.